Executive Order 6102 Historical Context and Legal Basis. Signed by FDR during the Great Depression, EO 6102 required citizens to surrender gold holdings exceeding 100 to the Federal Reserve at $20.67 per ounce. The rationale was to stabilize the economy by consolidating gold reserves, enabling currency devaluation to combat deflation. The order relied on the Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917 and the Emergency Banking Act of 1933, leveraging a declared national emergency to justify unprecedented executive power. Non-compliance led to prosecutions, and gold ownership remained illegal until 1974. The order exemplifies how governments can exploit crises to assert control over monetary systems. Bitcoin versus gold key differences. Unlike physical gold, Bitcoin exists as a decentralized digital asset. Confiscation would require access to private keys, making mass seizures impractical unless enforced via centralized exchanges, for example, through KYC regulations. Gold in 1933 underpinned the US dollar via the gold standard. Bitcoin, however, operates outside traditional monetary systems, posing no direct threat to fiat currency stability unless widely adopted as legal tender. Bitcoin's digital nature allows cross-border transfers without physical intermediaries, complicating enforcement of capital controls, a key concern for governments. Could a Bitcoin confiscation order happen in World War III? Arguments for modern presidents retain broad emergency powers under the National Emergencies Act of 1976. A global conflict could justify extreme measures to control financial resources, especially if Bitcoin is framed as a threat to economic stability or sanctions enforcement. Arguments against technological barriers. Bitcoin's self-custody model, for example, hardware wallets, resists centralized confiscation. Only custodial services like exchanges are vulnerable. Lack of monetary necessity. Unlike gold in 1933, Bitcoin does not anchor the global financial system. Confiscation would offer limited strategic value unless Bitcoin becomes a dominant reserve asset. Potential scenarios and mitigations. Regulatory pressure. Governments might impose strict reporting requirements on exchanges or ban private wallets, forcing Bitcoin into regulated channels. Conclusion. While Executive Order 6102 demonstrates government's capacity to seize assets during crises, Bitcoin's decentralized architecture and lack of systemic monetary role make large-scale confiscation unlikely, unless World War III creates unprecedented conditions, for instance, total financial warfare. More plausible threat lies in incremental regulation targeting exchanges and institutional holdings rather than individual wallets. For Bitcoiners, self-custody and privacy enhancements remain critical safeguards. Key takeaway: Bitcoin's resilience hinges on its decentralization, but geopolitical upheaval could test its anti-fragility in unforeseen ways.